Okay.
Okie dokes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, guys, we're live. Okay, now that we put your thread there, with your thumb, just hold the lead wire so it doesn't start going down the shank of the hook. Dam it up in the front. And then just lightly put the thread through the lead so you go all the way to the back. Now you're going to trap the lead so it doesn't slide down. So dam it up at the back here. Then preferably just put a couple of turns in the lead itself. So it seats down nicely, as well as when you're putting materials down on the lead, it doesn't slip. Okay, now what we're going to do is, as you start getting to the actual bend of the hook, stop there and you're going to take your goose bites. Preferably black goose bites. Sky's the limit, but I prefer tying these flies a bit natural. Even though it's going to act as an attractor, being a dropper, still keep the natural parts into it.
Don't you put a base of thread underneath?
Underneath where? The tail?
Underneath the thread, underneath the lead.
No. Put the lead straight on.
Okay. I'm so used to
Yeah.
putting a base underneath, because then it holds it. It definitely won't slide.
Yeah, no, I just do it because it's a lot quicker when you're tying them. And the bobbin gets in the way. Okay, now, obviously you guys know that bards do have a slight curve to one side. What you want to do is, as you can see, this one's curving to the left hand side. Well, my left, your right. So you want that, you want the shank, you want the hook to be in the middle there, and the tails to be splicing outwards. Okay, so keep that in mind. Oh, there, can you see it's like got a slight bend? So what we'll do is, you're going to pair them, one on each side. This can be quite tricky, so take your time when doing this. Now, the length of this, it's entirely up to you. I don't like to leave it very, very long. Shortish tail, not too long.
So you want it going down the way, not straight?
No, you don't want it going straight, you want it going downward. Okay, and then you repeat that same process. Just make sure that these bites do not hook back into each other or go in the same direction. They have to be opposite. As you can see over there, you can see those tails separating. Okay, now that you got that, I'm going to take 5x tippet, anything mono, fluorocarbon, doesn't really matter. Go for it.
You fit every camera, Ruben,
Yeah, clearly, I shouldn't drink as much. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to tie in the mono. Okay, keep that out the way. Then we're going to take, almost cut back. Don't need a lot of it.
What kind of material is it?
Scudback. Brown scudback. Please match it according to the color of the body, more or less to the color of the body that you're tying to. You don't want to have a fluorescent pink scudback on a brown freaking nymph. It's not going to look nice at all. Although mudfish will like it. Okay. What you do afterwards is just cut a little point into there.
I'll do that to the camera.
Yeah, well, so it's easier to tie in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Clearly it's not. Then we're going to place that on top. Just give it 2 wraps to secure it. Now the trick is, the more wraps you do on it, pull tighter, so that you trap in as little of this as possible, because you want as little of this scud back in there, so it doesn't create too much bulk in the flour. Now that is out of the way, we take our dubbing, just a normal dark dubbing with a tiny bit of flash in it, as you can see there. It's just a mixture of synthetic fibers with hair dubbing and a bit of squirrel inside as well, because you want to get a bit of spikiness to it afterwards when you brush it all out. What you want to do is you want to have a very thin butt section, then straight away you start tapering it out quite a lot. It gets very thick very quickly. As you'll see here, it's very thin at the base, and then it gets very, very thick very quickly. And don't worry about it being getting it spiky now. You can always brush it out after you're finished with this flour. Sorry guys. Okay, now once you get towards the end of the lead, that's where you stop with your dubbing. Okay, take your nymph stretch, your scud back, and pull it hard over here. 1 wrap, 2 wraps, and just pull a bit tighter. Okay. And you're going to take your mono and you're going to rib it. Trick is, so this doesn't slip, is allow the mono to go on top of the scud back around and then pull tight, or else it's going to start pulling the scud back onto one of the sides. Okay, now you're not going to cut the mono off, you're going to leave it there. So just tighten it down. You're going to need it now. Cut off the scud back though, but don't cut off the mono.
Ruben, is there any set number of turns that you do on the mono?
Not really. Not really. It's how many segments you guys want, it's up to you. All you need to do is you need to create that segmentation in the body, so it doesn't look like just a capsule. You need to give that whole segmentation, then it's a trigger for the fish, because the fish is looking for positives, not for negatives. If it sees 3 positives, it will throw away the 2 negatives that are in the flour. Just think of it like that, okay? Then we're going to take just thin skin mottled oak. Leave it on the cardboard and just cut a strip out, more or less to the width of that flour. Now just keep it to more or less the width of the flour that you've tied. Once that is done, pull it off the cardboard. Then you got what's very similar to the nymph stretch, the scudback, I mean. Then, like we did with the scudback, cut in a little point so it's easier to tie in. Sometimes it can be quite difficult because of the lead.
Question, why have you changed the color of the...
It's not really going to change the color. It's going to give a mottled appearance, but it won't change the color because of the dubbing you're going to put underneath there. It's just for that little bit of that mottled look for it. When you put the dubbing underneath, the darker will come out dark, but the transparent will actually just show a bit of a difference in the fly itself. Okay, once you got that tied down, eventually, you're going to take another pair of biots. Now you want these biots to go towards the body, curve in. Okay. Okay. Once you tied it in, you can shape it to wherever you want. Okay, that's fine. I'm tying them very close because of the lead. It's causing a lot of trouble here for me. That's okay. I can shorten that out just now. Repeat the same process. Make sure that these legs are more or less the same length on either side. Yeah, there we go. Then take a little bit of dubbing.
Before you do that, can you just explain your back?
Will do. Okay. Let's take a little bit of dubbing. Not a lot. And you're going to go right up against where that nymph stretch, thin skin is. Create that little ball, as you can see over there. And then you take another pair of biots. It uses a lot of biots. It uses 4 pairs of biots. Okay, these ones here go shorter than the previous ones.
Again, still facing inwards or facing outwards?
Yes, exactly, facing inward. That's fine, as you can see there. Okay, now
Definitely going to leave yourself a lot of room at the front.
yeah, you do need to leave quite a bit of room. But then, your last bites, try and get the smaller bites. Smaller bites for these flies are a lot better. Then you get another pair, and you give it horns. Now, these horns are going to hug against the eye of the hook. Okay, and they're not going to lie like that. They're going to lie like that, and the eye of the hook in the middle. So, I don't know, let me see if you can see. Can you see it like that? That's exactly how you want it to lie. And be careful when trimming these biots that you don't cut your legs. Okay.
From the segment again? Okay.
Okay, then just a tiny bit of dubbing. Bring over that thin skin. Just like the scud back. Just pull it nice and tight. Now the trick for this is fold it backwards before you cut, so you can get in there nicely. Then obviously you still got your mono here. You're going to lift up the legs. Going to get in between the legs slowly. Can be quite tricky with this thin skin because it is a lot harder than the scud back. And tie it down. Then just finish it off.
So when you're whip finishing, you're not going in between?
No. You go, when you whip finish, you finish right where the two horns are.
Yeah.
And that's where you finish off. Exactly there. And then all you have to do with this fly is just fix up your horns and your legs and that. And then brush her out. You can use a needle just to brush it out a bit. That's your stonefly. There we go. Thank you.
Now, tell us, how do you fish it?
Nymph it. Well, you know, if you start tying them in a little bit bigger, like in your size 6s, your size 10, from your size 6 to size 10s, you can use it as a dropper fly. 12s, 14s, 16s, you start using it as your nymph. So you use a different control fly and use that as your nymph to start nymphing. But this fly works very, very well, especially in above the, where is it actually? Wait, hold on. Vaal Dam in the Suikerbos, the Suikerbos River. Works very, very well. I've had good success on private farms there. There's a lot of stonefly in that river, as opposed to what's in the Vaal. So it is a very good pattern, as well as even if there's no stoneflies available, funny enough, a fish will target it. He will pick it up. It's still a food source. If it's tied nicely, if it's got the positives, it will catch a fish. Just think of it like that. Okay.
Do stoneflies live in lakes?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know. Don't think so. I think they need running water. Yeah.
Clean running water.
Yeah, clean. Yeah. I wouldn't drink any of our water though, but they are there. They're living in there, but it's not that clean. But yeah. So there we go, guys.
Yeah, very good.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
I like it. But I can almost think that you could tie this as a shrimp rabbit as well.
Yes, you can.
Can I take that out?
Of course you may. Let me just help you out there.